Hey everyone, so we're going to be doing an episode review for Dimension 12. This was a very fast-paced episode. I did not expect them to actually skip that many fights. We had a matchup between 5 people and we had Naoki as the anchor, of course. However, the first 3 fights were pretty much just skipped, or rather just played off screen, which was something that was kind of disappointing. I wanted to see full fights where each of these decks actually had an opportunity to showcase what they could actually do, but it was just all off screen. Even the fact that it's already up to the final 2 schools going up against each other, Fukuhara High and Miyagi Academy, it's definitely very odd to see how quick this tournament has actually gone by. I thought this would actually span out for an entire arc or an entire season, but unfortunately it seems like this is all we'll get. That kind of raises the question of whether or not this is actually good for character development, because it actually makes things a little too fast. As a result, certain relationships between different characters might seem a bit too over the top, even though it's not. But it's just the way that they're doing things right now, it's just way too fast along the storyline. I mean, for Corin to develop feelings for her old team Miyagi Academy, it will definitely be something that I find just not working as well as it would be if it would actually take more time to span things out. For example, if you actually had fights in the preliminary rounds or something like that, or even in the semi-final rounds, it would actually give enough time for Corin to actually develop some kind of feeling or connection towards her old teammates. Unfortunately, the fact that we're already in the final fight and she all of a sudden just gets all this, it just doesn't do the justice of her regaining that connection between her old teammates. That being said, we do get to see a bit of a fight between Ren and Aichi. Now, definitely very interesting, because after the events of Link Joker, obviously a lot of people forgot about those events, so it's cool to see that Ren was actually one of those people who kind of acknowledges the events. Despite the fact that he doesn't fully remember it, he's able to get a grasp of who's actually responsible for ending it, that being Aichi, and even Aichi doesn't know it himself. So by the end of their fight, it was really awesome to see that Ren was actually, he actually shed a tear, because he was grateful for the fact that Aichi managed to connect everyone to Vanguard, and also end this particular conflict that happened in the previous arc. So it was definitely very awesome that they actually continued off with that, and they're not just leaving things behind. Obviously, it seems like this particular season is slowly giving us or filling up different plot holes that might have arose from the previous season. That being said, very surprised to see that both Asuka and Ren actually lost their fights. It just seems that Aichi has been winning a little too much, or a little too often in this particular series of Vanguard, and we don't get to see enough character development, or rather his skill level development, and that's just something I don't like, because he just got into the game, and for him to actually become so good at the game that he's able to beat someone like Ren, who was the previous champion, it definitely makes things a little bit too over the top, and it was definitely something I didn't like with Aichi's character. I mean, he doesn't lose too much in this particular version of the anime, and as a result, or the series, and as a result, it just doesn't seem to work as well as the original series. So that's something I'm kind of, it's sort of a nitpick, but at the same time, it does kind of raise certain problems as we move along the story, for Aichi having pretty much a power creep in skill, which is just really bad. Of course, everything ends off with Naoki facing off against Ibuki now, so it will definitely be really interesting to see that maybe that entire next episode will be a full fight, but at the same time, for all we know, they might just skip it. I mean, I'm okay with them skipping in the grade 1 or grade 2 phase, but once you get to the grade 3 phase, or potentially even riding into grade 4, why not just actually showcase the entire turn, rather than to actually just skip over and do an off-screen fight? I mean, it might have happened in the manga, but you could definitely do this in the anime and drag things on, but it just seems like everything's starting to rush a bit here, and I think it just doesn't seem to work as well. There's no cohesiveness, and because of that, I just don't think it really works for this particular season. It's just weird compared to the pace of the previous seasons. But that's pretty much my nitpick on this particular episode. Seems I have a lot more problems with this particular episode than a lot of the previous ones. But it's just how I felt watching this entire episode. It just felt so rushed. But tell me what you guys actually think about this. In the meantime, hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.